All right. Back for post-game. Charlie Burris, Jonathan Crompton. This is the A to Z Sports Big Orange Game Day Reaction Show, post-game edition. Tennessee 59. Ball State 10. To Ball State's credit, they held Tennessee to a lot fewer points in that second half, only 21 compared to 38 in that first half. And they put up 10. An admirable effort by Ball State in that second half. But, of course, they were playing against Tennessee's, literal fourth-string players. But we're going to talk about it all between me and Crump. And, of course, we're going to talk about Pittsburgh coming up right on the horizon. Everybody's kind of watching their game right now, maybe watching that game and listening to us here. But first, before we get into it all, let's give a giant shout out to all of our sponsors. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Farm Bureau Health Plans is a corporate sponsor of the Vols and have been serving Tennesseans for 75 years. Plan on us for health, dental, and vision at fbhp.com/ATOZ. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Omaha Steaks is also in with us. Visit omahasteaks.com and type keyword Vols in the search bar to fill your freezer with enough gourmet food to keep your cookouts going strong in the fall. Omaha Steaks. And finally, Rattle and Snap Tennessee whiskey from Log Still Distillery. Make your own luck, just like Tennessee's fast-paced Rattle and Snap offense with Rattle and Snap Tennessee whiskey. Those are all of our amazing sponsors. We can't thank them enough for supporting the boys here. And now, let's get down to business. Not the world's, most amazing second half of football ever. Tennessee just destroyed Ball State, just like the first half. But did anything stick out to you, Crump? What'd you see?
Well, the efficiency. I like that a lot. That's I'm trying to get my calculator up just to, as a team, obviously, and I get it, quote unquote garbage time. But man, we were 77% throwing the ball tonight. That's
pretty efficient.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we can stay in the 70s, not high 70s is obviously you want to push for, but the reality in today's game, the completion percentages do go up. But if we can stay close to 70 for the year and be efficient like that, we've got a chance to win a lot of ball games. But that would be kind of something that stood out to me is 77% throwing the ball. And I text our group chat, right? I was curious on how long we'd let Milton go, right? 8 of 9, 113 and a touchdown. The one miss was a freaking missile that was a wide open touchdown. So that's his fault. We get it. But God forbid something happened to Hooker. At least he showed tonight that he can make plays and the coaches can coach around
that's his fault. We get
his faults. But God forbid something happened.
Well, wait. I could hear
Yeah, I could too.
That was funny. I could hear the stream in my ear, and I thought you were still talking. Apologies there. That was
no, I heard it too.
Yeah, technical difficulties there. So I think that was the most intriguing part of that second half was Joe Milton. It was, exactly as planned. Exactly how this game went is how they wanted it to go. They didn't have to show much. You got Pitt on the horizon. Nice and easy. Wash your hands of it. You're done with that opener. Everybody kind of gets their sea legs, sort of. You got to play the backups. At the end there, Navy Schuler gets in the game. A kid I didn't know plays for Tennessee gets in the game at quarterback, Gaston Moore. I guess I did know he plays there because he has a funny name and it always sticks out to me. But he gets in the game there. That's how badly Tennessee beat Ball State. This thing went exactly to plan. And you saw that I think the line from a lot of analysts has been Tennessee has the best backup quarterback in college football right now, potentially.
Let's call it like it is. As much as people want to say whatever about him, blah, 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 Hendon Hooker hit the nail on the head. He has the talent to be the best player in the country. Keyword talent. But talent only gets you so far. If he weren't at Tennessee and he were at certain schools, he would be the number one guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just the truth. We do have let's just kind of take a step back, I guess I would say. We do have a luxury of having a backup with game time experience, but our coaches have to do a better job, and I think they did a better job tonight by understanding his quote-unquote limitations, meaning his arm strength is the limitation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And putting him in a position to only throw certain throws. That's what if he has to, God forbid he has to go in, that's what they got to do. And I think they did a pretty decent job of that tonight, because outside of that, we don't have anybody with actual game experience.
That's true. Hopefully it ends up not mattering. I would put it that way.
Yes.
Ideally, Hooker, he went out with like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. This was exactly what you wanted to see. And I think really my only question was, how much do you actually take away from, and you're seeing it kind of in the comments here. Greg Stewart says, I did not hear Banks' name. He did play. Chris Mansfield says Young and Barron didn't even show up tonight. How much do you take away from the defense didn't look like a world beater tonight, and it's Ball State? We talked about it during that halftime show. They were playing real loosey-goosey with the secondary, and it seemed like they're sort of not showing their hand much. So almost, do you put any stock in it at all? I think you could. The lack of push from the defensive line to me is a little concerning. I think immediately you slice that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know how much stock I put in.
Well, yeah, because the bottom line is, a defensive lineman, we weren't doing a whole lot of stunts tonight, so it was just mano-y-mano.
Yeah,
we didn't win a lot of those battles, so to speak. Now, once again, we got to give credit where credit's due. Ball State started trying to get the ball out quick to try to help that. But still, our defensive front is better than their O-line. I would expect at least more. Yes, we'd love to see a sack. But even without getting a sack, I would have loved to see more like QB pressures by the D-line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's going to play big. We're not going to get 10 sacks a game, but we need double-digit QB pressures a game. Actual, we put him under duress. He had to throw the ball way early, whatever. Like the one play, it looked great on our end, but you could tell they were trying to set something up, and every O-line did a cut block backside, and he has to fade away and throw a corner out. It looked great. It looked like we got pressure, but I don't know what the hell they were doing. I'll just be honest with you, because it didn't time. They shouldn't have done that protection didn't match with the routes they were running. Right.
Not something you ever really want to be saying after any football game. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
I watched it. I was like, I'm sitting there going, okay, well, maybe they were setting the screen. No, they weren't setting the screen up, because the line started cut blocking. Everybody cut block right, and he tried to throw a corner out to the left. And I'm like, that doesn't match up. But that's at that point, we got a QB pressure. Kind of a toss-up because of what they were doing. But I would expect us to get more. Week one, I get it. So, I'm watching the Pitt game, right? And I was flipping back and forth during commercials. And I like what they said. One of the announcers said, they're like, man, this is what football is. Screw the preseason. Just get right into week one. Talking about the NFL. Because you want to make those mistakes, but you also want that pressure to be on the guys to understand you've got to learn to adjust on the run.
Yep.
Preseason games, they seem cool, blah, 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 but the reality is they're kind of meaningless. I know guys are trying to make a roster in the NFL, and that's obviously a whole different ball game, but it's this is what it's about. See how you're going to react in the fourth quarter with no warm-up games, is just a couple scrimmages.
Yeah, they're pretty serious about it. Taven Jackson screws up that handoff, he's done. It was one play, done.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta have those learning curves. So
yeah,
and that was just a complete miscue.
Definitely was. Well, let's get to a fun segment here. We'll get the chat involved. Tons of people weighing in. We got a Vanderbilt fan in here, and I will say my greatest regret in this game, perhaps my biggest shortcoming for Tennessee in this one, is that they didn't whip Ball State as badly as Vandy beat Hawaii. That's a real shame. I do think Ball State is better than Hawaii.
I was about to say Ball State's a little better than Hawaii.
Hawaii was about a third of a football team.
Hey, watch this. I watched the first little bit, of the Hawaii game, and I was like, "Ooh, Hawaii's up 7-0. Let's go,
Yeah.
Hawaii. Let's do this. Come on, Hawaii." Woke up and I was like, "Ooh, Hawaii." Didn't go well.
Hey, even I went to sleep at halftime. It was like a 10-point game at that point. And I was like, hey, Hawaii's in it. It's a close game. And gave up 35 points in the third quarter or something. But let's get Chad involved here. Drop in one word to describe this game. How are you feeling? How are we feeling out there? One word, just one. That's the challenge. One word. You got Pitt on the horizon. You just beat Ball State by 59. But we're all kind of acknowledging there's a little bit to improve on here and there. Everybody can look a little sharper next week. What's one word to describe that? And that segment is going to be brought to us by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Farm Bureau Health Plans have been serving Tennesseans for over 75 years. Here it is. I messed this up in the first segment. Look at this. We got a banner. Farm Bureau Health Plans right there. What did Butch used to say? 1% better every day. There we go. Farm Bureau Health Plans have been serving Tennesseans for over 75 years. Much has changed in Tennessee over the years, but some has stayed the same. Farm Bureau Health Plans has always valued personal relationships, especially when it comes to good health and good service. Plan on Farm Bureau Health Plans for health, dental, and vision. For better coverage, better rates, and better service, go to fbhp.com/ATOZ. That is A to Z. Or walk into one of their 200-plus locations across the state. That is fbhp.com/ATOZ to learn more about Farm Bureau Health Plans. And shout out to them for helping us out. Support them because they support us, and they are a corporate sponsor of the Vols also. So they are big time swinging in and helping us out here. And now, one word to describe how you're feeling about Tennessee. Let's see what some people are saying. This is the Vandy fan. He says, sad. Nick Walker says, expectation. Chris Manfield says, question. Mark Jones, electric. Let me scroll down. Steven Sawyers, defense. And all with three exclamation points. Brad Hughes said, excited. Me too, man. Jimmy Clements, confident. Mark Jones, light speed. And Steven Sawyer says, defense?
Question mark.
So Crump, I'll throw it to you. Thanks to Farm Bureau Health Fans for supporting the segment. What is your one word that you're thinking about right now after Tennessee wins 59-10?
Expected. Not necessarily expectation, but expected this to happen this week. Just Ball State, you got a first start for a quarterback, right? Coming in, we're playing hot from last year, a lot of expectations. So to me, expected.
I would kind of along those same lines, scheduled, as in this is your regularly scheduled programming. This went the way we wanted it to go. You got it done. It's out of the way. See you later. Bye. Bring on Pitt. And on that note, what is it? Anything changed in that game?
It's 31-24. They're reviewing if it's a catch or not. West Virginia just had a defensive back ejected for targeting. 5:07 to go.
Well, then let's get a little bit into that. You see what you saw tonight. You're seeing what you're seeing with Pitt. How are you feeling about that game? Keaton Slovis, I like Evan White already weighing in before we even talk about it. He says, Slovis is a bum. Stack the box next week.
I like Slovis when he was at USC. I don't think this system at Pitt fits Slovis. They've changed systems from last year. A new coordinator. They were even talking about it earlier. Pitt is going to be under center so much. So it's going to be the complete opposite of what we do. They'll be in the gun, but they're slower tempoed, right? Methodical, under center, downhill, hard-nosed run. That's not what he did at USC, right? 26 starts. They're spread, let it fly, right? Oh, by the way, his coordinator, Graham Harrell, is now at West Virginia, right? So it is a complete opposite of what he's used to, or, from the system itself. He may like the system. I don't know. But it's the opposite of what we saw tonight. It's just they're going to be downhill. They're going to play action and try to hit, dig routes over the middle and tight ends on out routes off of play action. Or at least that's what they've shown so far in that type of systems. That's what they do. But the thing that I'm encouraged about is, like I was telling you earlier. Oh, come on, West Virginia. Sorry.
No.
A freshman running back for West Virginia named CJ Donaldson. By the way, this dude is 6'2", 240. Running back. Well, he's listed as a tight end, but they put him in the backfield tonight.
Yeah.
Five carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown right up the gut. And I'm not talking about trick plays. I'm talking about right up the gut and a block punt. So their middle of their defense, I'm not too concerned about. Is I guess what I'm getting. Like, I'm just watching them. Like I said, I was going back and forth in commercials. I'm not really concerned about their D-line, right? But then again, they're going to watch our film and go, I'm not concerned about their D-line. So it's just that's kind of the matchup of football. That's the fun part. But it's going to be fun. I don't think the crowd's going to be what it is tonight for this being the backyard brawl or whatever it's called, like for the first time in forever. It's their biggest sellout ever for Pitt. And that be a tie ball game. Sorry. They just scored.
Well, that game will be at 3:30 at it's not Heinz Field anymore, is it? It's like it's like BB&T Stadium. They like change it to like some corporate name.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are upset about that.
Yeah. But that, I mean, I agree. That's one. It like doesn't sell out. Pitt has a passionate fan base, but it's like a niche kind of fan base.
Yeah, it's not SEC fan base.
Yeah, it's not the same. I think there will be a lot of Tennessee fans because it's not that far away. It's cool,
really not.
Yes, and like it's a cool little. I mean, I don't know that I've ever been to Pittsburgh in my life. I know a lot of places. Never been to Pittsburgh, so like that's a fun trip. So I bet there will be Tennessee fans there. And I think the offense is going to get theirs, as it always does with Josh Heupel. I mean, that's never not going to happen. You look last year, it happened against Alabama. It even happened, at least for the first half, against Georgia. Like, this offense gets theirs.
Yes.
But I think that game is going to come down to hopefully Evan White is right and Slovis is a bum, and he doesn't stick it to Tennessee like Kenny Pickett did last year. And it's
he's not a Kenny Pickett.
He's not.
He's not. He's a good ball player. He's not a Kenny Pickett. It'll be interesting. I mean, like we talked about in our group chat this week, even last year with our losses, we still averaged like 41 or right at 40. So it's 39 point something, 40 points a game, right? We put up 40 points against Pitt. I feel pretty good about our odds.
You're kind of leading into the stat that I have for the rattle and snap whiskey stat of the game. But I'll throw in a quick promo right here. Mark Jones, he says, I think Cardinal Tate will flip from Ohio State to the Vols. He posted a pic yesterday in a Vol jersey with the Tennessee director of recruiting wishing her a happy birthday. Mark, me and Zach are going to talk about that on the Big Orange podcast tomorrow.
I hope so, because nobody likes Ohio State.
Yeah, I hope so. I'll put it that way. But tune in. We're going to live stream tomorrow in the middle of the day. We haven't nailed down an exact time yet, but just like keep an eye out for it. I gotta talk to Zach. We have to convene. But we're going to live stream in the middle of the day tomorrow. I would say look around like noon Eastern time. And so there's a quick pitch for me. And now let's get to the one stat of the game that stuck out the most to us between you, Crump, and me. I already have one loaded up thanks to Austin Stanley. He threw one at me. I've cheated for this segment, but I'll see what you have to say. But first, got to talk about Rattle and Snap Tennessee whiskey. And Crump, you know when football kicks off, you get those crisp temperatures. Beautiful fall nights are just right around the corner now. The college football is here, and you know it goes perfectly with magnificent fall nights in the state of Tennessee, or in your case, the state of North Carolina. Whiskey. Log Still Distillery is releasing a new Tennessee whiskey product line. It is called Rattle and Snap Tennessee Whiskey, named after a long-forgotten game of chance. Rattle and Snap is a whiskey for those who make their own luck. Go follow Rattle and Snap Tennessee Whiskey on Instagram at Rattle and Snap Whiskey. And let me same thing here. I got to get better at this. There it is. So the deal with this whiskey is that they are dropping it this month. So go if you have a store that you typically go to that you get your whiskey from. Just keep an eye out for it. They told me. Let me see the states of distribution. Apologies to anybody that doesn't live in these states, but it'll be Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, and Mississippi. There's a 4-year whiskey and an 8-year whiskey.
Nice.
Some really nice ages on those. 4-year and 8-year Tennessee whiskey, Rattle and Snap whiskey from Log Still Distillery. Thanks to them for sponsoring the show. And they're, as we mentioned earlier, they're sending us some promo bottles, so I'm excited to get them and give them a try, and I'll give you my rundown in future shows, and probably, let's be honest, drink them on this show. So hopefully out of joy and not out of sorrow. Thanks. I hope Tennessee football hears that. I want to celebrate with a whiskey, not drown my sorrows in a whiskey, please and thank you.
Yes, no, I want that too. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Please. But dude, just look out for it because it's dropping this month. It is a brand new release, so look out for it in your local stores in Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Indiana is what it said. All right, your favorite stat from this game, Cromp. As I said, I kind of cheated. I have mine loaded up already. I'll give it to you.
I'll let you go first this time.
Okay, so Austin Stanley sent me. Let me make sure I'll get the text. He said Austin Stanley is the sports fan. He created this website on which we stream the show. Him and Zach Bingham. He said this: in Tennessee's 8 wins in the Josh Heupel era, the team has averaged 51.25 points per game. Just a crazy amount of offense. So I don't know exactly what to take away from that, but you kind of go 50 is the magic number. But of course, that's going to be true kind of across the board in any game. If you score 50 points, you're probably going to win. But yes, 51.25 in 8 wins is insane. I mean, that's just an unbelievable amount of offense, especially when you consider where they came from with Pruitt. Like, it really is just crazy.
What was it last year? It was like 5 or 6 games in, we'd already scored more points total than the year before, or something like that. It wasn't like halfway through the season.
Yeah,
or barely halfway. We're like, oh, we've already matched last year's total,
which wasn't that hard to do.
It's like really like that easy. But no, that's what, like I was texting you guys. I think through the whole year, so we were 7th in FBS last year with 40 a game, right? I think, honestly, I including Bama and Georgia, and nobody knows how LSU is going to be this year, but playing at LSU, I still think 45 is a legitimate average. I truly do. And I missed this question earlier by somebody. I think we keep the 45 streak going next week, like to make it 5 in a row.
My prediction for that game, we did our full, again, to plug the Big Orange podcast. The Big Orange podcast, we previewed the entire season in the last episode this past week. My prediction for that game was a blowout. I think that they run it up on Pitt. Now it was a full basic guess on my part that Pitt was going to be underwhelming. Turns out it seems like I'm essentially correct.
But Pitt's winning now.
Oh, what'd they do?
Well, no, Daniels threw a dime.
Oh man. Wait, Daniels is West Virginia's quarterback.
Right through the receiver's hands, pick 6.
Oh.
I'm talking about dude, it was a perfect ball, and you're like, oh yeah, oh damn.
You still have to. I mean, you have to have the bounces go your way. I think that's
exactly
for sure.
But I guess so. So my biggest stat tonight, minus the last sack, 236 yards rushing.
Nice. Yeah.
And I know we're not going to average 236 on the ground, but with the tempo that we go at, if we can average like 150 to 170 a game rushing, we will wear down the defensive line very quickly. Very quickly.
And And that only thing,
I can think it's and this is including myself. It's kind of a common misconception. It's like, oh, you go so fast, blah blah blah. Oh, you're throwing it 70 times a game. Well, no, we threw it 27 and we ran it 51. Or we threw it 35. Sorry, we 27
but
35.
God, I mean, and that's a little skewed.
We had 51 attempts tonight.
Like that second half was just all, you know.
Well, yes, but you see what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm getting at is like it's a common misconception. It's like just because we go fast that we're throwing the ball like Mike Leach. Well, we're not. We're still a very balanced team. We're almost 50-50. So if we can, and like I said, if we can average like 170 a game, dude, we're going to be hard to beat. So that's why 236, taking out the last sack because it was the last play of the game, taking that out, 236, that's impressive. And
we already talked about it. Pitt in this game against West Virginia struggled against the run. So
from what I've seen, they have
good setup possibly for Tennessee. I maybe if West Virginia can pull this one out. The question that I have really in that scenario is it almost more pressure if Pitt loses this game? Because I was kind of looking forward to like maybe Pitt takes care of business.
You know why there's no
20.
You know why there's less pressure? Because there have been a few people that have picked Pitt to play in the national championship game.
Yeah, which is insane.
So to me, where's the pressure on us? We're the road team. We've played lonely old Ball State, right? Oh, it's just yay, whatever. Pitt's playing at home, got the rivalry game back, blah, blah, blah. Next week's game for Pitt is not going to have, like, their fans are not going to have that atmosphere next week. It's going to be cool if they do, but it's nothing. The thing is, it's nothing new to us. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida. See what I'm saying? Pitt doesn't play in those atmospheres every week. We do.
Yeah.
So it's almost more pressure on Pitt that we got to win. You know what I mean? It's just another game to us because that atmosphere we're used to.
And that's what almost makes me wish that they win this game. Is so because I
just don't want them to win.
I don't want them to win. But it puts the onus on them. Like, it really puts that on them to be like, all right, well, you slipped out of that one.
No, if they lose, now they're going, oh, crap, we got to go undefeated to make it to where everybody said we were going to make it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I know it's a non-conference game, so it doesn't affect the conference standings, but to get to where people have predicted us, we got to run the table. And then it's the one where it's like, because let's call it like it is. There's only been, 2 teams that have ever went 15-0, Clemson and Alabama, because now there's 15 games. Alabama typically has that historic, like, slip up. That is like, how did you lose that game?
We were talking about
a few years ago, Ole Miss, and you're like, where did that come from? Before Ole Miss is like high-powered offense, right? Or random Mississippi State, and you're like, what happened?
This was another kind of bold prediction that I made on our show this week, was that the Alabama game is in Neyland, and you bring that offense, and I could see Tennessee like having a lead in the third quarter. And like in 2015 with Butch, you had that lead in the fourth quarter and they couldn't hang on. Can Heupel, if that happens, hang on?
This offense is better than last year's offense because we have more complementary wide receivers now. Like overall, not necessarily like better players, but like the number of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tillman, McCoy, Hyatt, all right there. Brew McCoy is not a small individual. He is an absolute mismatch size-wise. Go cover him one-on-one. We're going to give you 50-50 ball. We're going to win half of those, and they're big plays. We got 3 running backs that shown they can run the ball with that true freshman, Sampson. Give that kid, give him some playing time in a meaningful game because I want to see him do something. I want to see what he can do, truly. So, like next week, I hope he gets some carries to see if we can have a 3-headed monster.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because he showed enough tonight to go, you got something about you. You can run. But let's say you do it. Let's say you do it against like a Power 5 school like Pitt. I'm encouraged by that. We do that along with the zone reads we're going to do. I told you guys I told Austin, sorry, I'm not going to give you my prediction for the season, wins and losses, but I have very high expectations. We'll just say that because of what we have around us with this offense.
I mean, I said the entire offseason, to me, for the season to be special, you're going to have performances where at the end of the season, you have a set of guys where you went, whoa, we didn't expect that out of them. And it can just be some combination of, like you're saying, any of these skill players on offense popping up, having career years, going crazy like Tillman did last year. Yeah. It really needs to happen on the defense. I mean, that if we're talking as realistic as possible, I mean, you got to have Tyler Barron have a giant year. You got to have Byron Young have a giant year. You got to have somebody truly step up, be that special. Jeremy Banks. Like, it's got to be somebody that comes through and gives you a surprise. Like, whoa, we didn't expect that out of them. And wow, we got here. I mean, you really need, like, the thing that I want so badly is, you remember the first season for Tennessee basketball when Grant Williams broke out, and everybody was just like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah,
he just is a 3-star. He was the only other school that recruited him was Harvard, and then all of a sudden he's like running the SEC, and we were like, what in the world? Like, we need some performances like that. Now, I'm not telling you to go be all SEC all of a sudden out of nowhere from a 3-star player. That's incredibly rare, but just something like that, the football version of that, is what I think it might take to take this to like a 10-win season, where it truly is something that hasn't been done in a really, really long time.
Do you want to know? I mean, we haven't done it. I mean, I don't really care to do it. You want to run through the schedule and I'll tell you what my true prediction is. I'll go week by week.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have a tendency to overthink things, right? And from the quarterback perspective, just in general, you look at Georgia's schedule. I think I might be the only one. I think Georgia goes down week 1. I do. I think they lose this week to Oregon.
Wow.
I could be. They may go and blow them out and just run it down the throat. Who knows?
There's going to be a step back. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
They lost, 7 dudes on defense? Something crazy.
They lost an NFL defense.
Yeah. And by the way, you lose your D coordinator. To the team you're playing.
Yeah.
Right? And I've said this before, I don't think Bo Nix is a great quarterback. I think he's a hell of an athlete. Oh, by the way, Bo Nix has played Georgia 3 times already.
It's true.
And Bo Nix, new head coach, knows Georgia's whole system, player personnel better than anybody.
So I really thought about this.
I think it's set now. The advantage for Georgia is they're essentially playing at home. They're playing in Atlanta. That's Georgia's advantage. But so it's set up for Georgia to go down, in my opinion. Yeah. Georgia also week 4 has always historically played like garbage against South Carolina, who now has a running quarterback, which Georgia has struggled with. Georgia might F around and start 2-2. They could go 4-0. I'm just saying it that way. They could. You never know. It's football, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that. Obviously, you can tell where I'm going with that. Obviously, win tonight. I think we win next week. We beat Akron. Florida, we'll find out a little bit against Utah tonight. I think that's a dub. I really do. Right? So what is that? Now we're at 4-0 personally. We go to LSU. I don't know what to think of LSU because they've got a lot of NFL talent, but you just don't know what you're going to get with Kelly as your coach. Like you have no idea, right? He's not coached there yet. They haven't announced a starting quarterback. I think it's the dude from Arizona State. You don't really know. But personally, I think that's a win. I really think we go 5-0 going into Alabama.
That'd be a top 10 matchup if that.
And now here's the thing. Do I think we have what it takes to stick with Alabama? Mentally, 100%. The thing that Alabama's got on us is they've got a lot of depth. They've got legit third stringers that can play. But here's the thing. That doesn't matter in a rivalry game. Bottom line. Okay? And when it's Alabama, Tennessee, it does not matter. We now have a coach that players believe in and will play for. Look at last year. But now look at this roster, and we've got more experienced running backs now, right? Or technically one, but now we got 3 of them. extra year experienced quarterback in the system an extra year, right? Receivers that have learned the system, kind of mismatches around the field. That one, as much as I want to say it, I still think we go down, but I don't think it's a blowout. I think we lose by 3 points.
Okay, and that was similar to mine. I said like Tennessee has a lead in the third quarter, and then it just.
Well, I think personally, I think Bama's going to have to kick a field goal to beat us. Like that's how close I think this game is.
Oh, the 2009.
I think that they legitimately. I think they have to. That's how they have to do it. Obviously, UT Martin, no big deal. So at this point, we're 6-1 going to Kentucky, and I'll forever say Kentucky is Kentucky to me. I
blowout.
7-1 going to Georgia. I've already said what I thought about Georgia. Right, 8-1. Right, I truly
in Athens, man. That's in Athens.
Come
on now,
Athens. I don't care what anybody says. I fell asleep on a recruiting visit in Athens. The stadium is not loud compared to other SEC stadiums.
That's the last great Tennessee football road win was in Athens. I mean,
but I'm just saying, like in reality, like. As much as it's going to hurt me to say it, South Carolina is louder than Georgia. Now, that's like fake sound, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think Athens is anywhere to be scared of playing. I truly think that if we just do what we've got to do, hold on. Oh, you got to be kidding me. If this dude caught it 4th and 16 for a touchdown with 20 seconds to go.
I need to do this on my.
Sorry, but long story short, if we just stay healthy, I legit think we got a chance to go 11-1.
I mean, that's what you're saying. I mean, what?
Now then again, 2 years. 2 years ago, I predicted us to go like 8-2, and we went like freaking 4-6.
Yeah,
but because you can't, it's predicting the future. But what I'm getting at is we have the team that has the faith in the coaches. That's more impressive. And can take you farther than just having the pure talent.
I still stand by it. We have to have magic. Like it has to be, and it's not impossible, but it has to be like Jeremy Banks' career year, Byron Young career year, Trevon Flowers career year. Like,
can it not happen? Dude, here's the thing. I've been one of the biggest Jeremy Banks critics of you got to be smart. The dude was 7th in the freaking country in tackles.
Yeah.
Now he might have been first in penalties though.
Yeah.
You never know. But I mean, he can have that year, right? Nobody. When the hell did Tennessee become a baseball school?
This year.
It can. But what I'm saying is, dude, it can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what makes it happen,
magic, man.
But what makes it happen is the belief in the coaches and the system that these players have. That's what I'm getting at. And our schedule, if you really look at it, our schedule is we got to take it a game at a time. The old Bill Belichick, next man up deal, blah blah blah. So
you actually get through. You get through LSU.
If we get SEC play, and if we get through Alabama with 1 loss, even if it's 2 losses, we have a legit chance to go 10-2 or 11-1.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah, if you get through 5-1, I think you're going 10-2. Like I think more likely than not, you're going 10-2 if you end up undefeated through LSU. Like I think that's the most likely outcome, actually, and that would be unbelievable. Looks like Pitt's gonna win. So
yeah,
turned it on.
Well, it was about 3 inches too low, so to speak, for the catch. But West Virginia is going to be something to handle in the Big 12 because Big 12 defenses suck.
JT Daniels was good in that game.
Well, no, he's good. He's better than Slovis. JT Daniels, including this game, only lost 6 6, 7 times in his college career. Something,
Well, I'll hold your feet to the fire here. And I'll be honest, I'm going to use this as a clip on YouTube. It's going to say like Tennessee quarterback predicts Pittsburgh Tennessee game. So that's just where this is coming from. What's the score next week?
I'm gonna go because of what now. I'll flip back and forth. Are in commercials? Pitt's got some running backs now.
Yeah,
they got some like heavy dudes. You know what I mean? Like 230, 240 guys. So with that, I think they can run the ball. But I still say I'm going to go 45-32 us.
That is like almost exactly what I'm thinking. I'll reveal my score prediction tomorrow on the Big Orange podcast. Everybody tune in. But there you go. There's Cromps. I mean, so Slovis got sacked for negative 20 yards in this game. So technically they only rushed for 76 yards. But Rodney Hammond Jr. had 74 yards on the ground in that game alone by himself. So that's a little skewed. Michael Westerbury says Tennessee 56, Pitt 21. I like that.
Hey, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Pretty lopsided.
Right. But the thing is, with our offense, we have the ability. Pitt wants to be a run-first team, or at least that's from what I've seen. They're going to go shotgun and try to throw it when they're behind. It's not their strength. They lost Addison to Southern Cal, ironically enough. If we get ahead and we make them do that, it looks like they threw for 308 yards, but you also got to understand you're going against a West Virginia Big 12 defense. That's just another day in the park for a Big 12 defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just, is what it is.
Evan read my mind right here. Evan White, he says, I could see us giving them the USC junior treatment, the South Carolina treatment, where Tennessee just comes out and like blazes them in that first quarter.
But we really could, truly.
I really think so. Like I will not be surprised in the slightest if Tennessee is up like 21-3.
They're just
shell shocked, and it gets closer as the game goes along, maybe. But like if they come out burning like that, I could absolutely see it. So
we really truly could. I'm sitting here looking, man, this kid's gonna feel bad. West Virginia's leading receiver, Bryce Ford Wheaton. Let's see, 7 receptions, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, he's the one that dropped for the pick 6.
Oh, brutal.
But no, I would say this: West Virginia looked a lot better than I thought. I think that now Oklahoma's still the best team in the Big 12. But hey, they may give some teams a run for their money because they've got a proven winner at quarterback, and they got some dudes at tailback. They ran for 190 yards, and that's with 23 yards of sacks.
Tennessee's gonna have its work cut out in that game, no matter how you slice it. We can project all day long. It's not going to be some walk in the park.
No. Well, dude, anything can happen. Like I said, we've got the belief in our system and the belief in our coaches. They do too. But the thing is, our advantage right now is we're in the second year in our system. They're in the first year of their system after having the same system for like 5 or 6 years. So it's not like they're coming in going, oh, they're feeling good because they won a rivalry game. That's great, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't play overly great. And
Tennessee is basically like
Hooker's feeling himself right now. Yes, he's going to miss throws. We get it. He's going to miss throws high. And with what we do, that's the same thing as saying we're going to have false starts because we're going so fast, right?
Yeah.
He's going to miss some throws high, but those will routes, when he puts it on the money, you go, whew, damn, all right, thank you, right? Or when he back shoulders a will route or just an absolute straight up fade route and he back shoulders it and it's on the money. So he's going to make those plays. I don't think Pitt's got the DBs that can handle our 6'3" receivers.
I mean, who
Just
does?
think about it. Tillman, Hyatt, and McCoy. Who's the shortest of those? And I'm asking that. I don't know the answer.
I'm pretty sure it will be Hyatt, right? I mean,
And how tall is Hyatt?
I just have to look exact height, but I mean, McCoy's a monster and Tillman's huge. Jalen Hyatt, Tennessee. He is at 6 foot, 185.
Is it our smallest starting receiver 6 foot? It's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a really good thing. And the sheer fact of we just kind of, I'm going to use the word kind of screwed around tonight and won by 49 points.
Yeah, it's what Ben Hall said here. He said,
there you go.
Our guys basically just hung out and won by 49.
That's true. I mean,
it's true.
So that's also our advantage is our starters are out with a quarter and a half to go. Oh, by the way, Pittsburgh starters were in a dogfight until 20 seconds left in the game. That makes a difference next week.
Yeah. It's going to be brutal.
So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I am big time.
It's, we'll probably be on here at the same time since it's the 3:30 game.
Yeah.
We all know how long those take.
I am hoping that the next week right here I'll have some Rattle and Snap Tennessee whiskey right behind me that I can grab and pour out in celebration of Tennessee winning. That would be the plan if I can get it.
And pour one out for Pitt by going, oh, so sorry, Pitt.
Oh, wah. Yeah. It'll be a good time. And we'll catch everybody then, I think.
Well, watch this. Before we go, Jimmy Clements might be the quote of the night. Squirrel White is like Steve Smith. That might be the best comparison of body size, quickness, and route running ability. Legit.
Yeah.
He is a shifty jack of all trades. And once we get him going a little bit and kind of get him into the system, buddy, it's gonna be fun.
Dude is lightning fast.
It's gonna be real fun watching. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I went bold prediction of the year. If Alabama can go 6-6 and then then 2 years later win the Natty, why can't we?
Why not us?
I mean, that's just the way I look at it.
I said it. We have had seasons like that in basketball and baseball both in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Why not us?
No, it's seriously. And Mark, I hope you're right. I feel like we're smoking cigars third Saturday in October. I love it. Hell,
I don't even know what I would do.
My wife will sit here and smoke one too.
I don't know what I would do, dude.
No, I've got to see your reaction. I need a genuine, authentic reaction because I've seen the negative.
Oh,
I need the positive.
I will get on here I'll show up before the show and it's gonna be like my hat's over here. I don't have a shirt on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just ran down the street. I just got back from getting down the street.
I was gonna say you're old school.
That's gonna be it. That's what is gonna happen.
Just don't get picked up in the car.
Time will tell. Why not us?
It's fun, man. And I've seen some comments like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up, all this stuff. And that's what's being a fan's about. You're supposed to want to feel that way with your team. Because I promise you, being on the player side, you want the fans feeling that way with you.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to lose. Nobody goes out there wanting to lose. But this team is the first time. I'm trying to think since when that it's like that it looks like they're actually having fun but not like individually having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like individual
That's a
players
good
are like, oh, I'm having a great time. I'm playing well, blah, blah, blah. But not individually, but like collectively, they're having a good time, it looks like. And that becomes contagious and that becomes dangerous for other teams.
Team fun.
Honestly, I don't know when I would say the last time that it's looked like that. Truly. Honestly, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Probably
if obviously we can all go back and relive the past. If Kiffin would have stayed, it would have been
I was during that
continuum. Because he allows players to do that. Look at Ole Miss.
Early 2000s, Fulmer, 2009. Nobody was having Butch's teams won some games, but they were never.
It didn't look like he allowed them to be themselves. He was too cliche and had them robotically saying quotes and
the worst.
That's not how. That's the beauty of football. Is it's so many different individuals and their personalities molding into one. Right. That's what you want. You can tell this staff allows them to, and I keep seeing people comment on it. And everybody's right. Danny White. It's almost, and I'm using my words here. He knows how to bring the best out of people and get the people that allow the players to be themselves. You cannot, the second you try to change them. Now, obviously, people can argue and say, oh, Alabama, Nick Saban. He coaches the hell out of them, but he doesn't change them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do what I'm coaching you to do, I just won't play you. But it doesn't mean your personality has to change. That's his style. Yeah. But he also has admitted he's had to adapt. Bottom line. And I really do. I think Danny has got the people in the buildings that are allowing these players to be themselves within the system, and it's showing. That's why I predicted us to have a really good year. I think we could be a top 5 scoring offense. If we're top 5 scoring offense, then we're winning no less than 9. Because of pure statistics alone, I mean, we're going to outscore a lot of teams. But if our defense gets more pressure and we can contain and the bend but don't break, give up 3 and not 7, and don't make bonehead plays, then that can take just the offense, but now add it with the defense statistically and be a top 5 team. And at that point, like I said, Alabama did it. Man, his first year they went 6-6. They were garbage. People, the younger generation's not going to remember. Dude, when I was coming out of high school, you didn't want to go to Alabama. They were boo boo.
It was a nightmare.
You didn't want to they called my house and I was like, no offense, you're Alabama, ain't nobody want to come play for you.
Because it was think of the dysfunction of Tennessee, except you had to go live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
You're right. That's what it was. So what I'm saying is it takes the right guy to turn it around. Saban was the right guy there. Look at what we have now, and look how quick things have already started turning. So why is it unrealistic for us to say, by looking at our schedule, get through next week, we'll start 3-0. Florida's at home with a brand new coach. You don't know how they're going to play. They may go get curb stomped this week by Utah, but they may do the same thing to Utah. We don't know yet. But with a new coach, with an average quarterback coming to Neyland, I like my odds. You know what I'm saying? You take it that way, we got a favorable schedule. We do.
I agree. There you go. There's Cromp's prediction. He said he wasn't going to give it.
Screw it. It's week 1. Why not?
Got it out of it. So thanks to everybody. Everybody was just interacting. This was so much optimism. Everybody's being cool, except for the one Vandy fan in the comments who's being a Vandy fan. Let's be, I think everybody knows.
They outscored us this week. Let them have it. It's all good.
Yeah, that's true.
Because guess what? Remember.
Give them the little victories,
No, but remember, though, Clark Lee said, just wait, and Vandy's going to be the best program in the country. Remember.
It just might be
I
like
can't even keep a straight
100
face
years from now.
I can't even keep a straight face.
Oh, that is it. Thanks so much to everybody for watching. Thanks to Farm Bureau Health Plants, Omaha Steaks, Rattle and Snap, Tennessee Whiskey by Log Still Distillery. Thanks to all of them for supporting the show. Go check out their stuff. The links are in the comments or in the description, sorry, of the YouTube video. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find the links to the sponsors. But that's it. Cromp, any last message for the fine folks at home before we reconvene during the Pitt game next week?
As I tell my high school kids after win, enjoy it tonight. Don't do anything stupid.
Sage advice from Jonathan Crompton.
I'm saying, just enjoy it. Don't do anything dumb.
That's good. Make sure don't do anything that won't allow you to be here next week when we're hanging out. Don't be in jail or whatever, you know.
Yeah, because we want you to come back and hang out with us. We don't want a comment that so and so couldn't get bailed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could get in jail. Just make sure it's not bad enough that you can't get bailed out.
Yeah, just yeah. Don't do anything real bad.
Just like, minor traffic violations, something like that. All right. That's it. Thanks to everybody again for watching, and we'll talk to y'all next week.